Who doesn't use the internet? Stan, Blair. Okay, so my information is called the Web Soil Survey. If you don't know about NRCS, we completed the soil survey where pits were taken, soil pits, and all over. So that happened in 1962 all the way to 1973. And if you've been in my office, you might have one of these. Does this look familiar to anybody? Harold, I think you have one. You do. So this contains, just for our soil survey here in Siskiyou County, it's 300 pages. It has lots of maps with all your soils. So the old way, what we call the old way now, is you would come into the office and tell me, Heather, I'm having a problem. I don't know why something's not growing. What's going on with my soils? Or you'd come in for a soils map. So we'd look, I would pull this out. I still pull this out. It's still relevant in my mind. It's easy. But you would get one of these maps, and I'm going to pass a couple around just here in Shasta Valley. And you guys might recognize your ranch depending on who you are. So you'd pull that out and you'd see, and I think we saw a slide with David's presentation, is you'd see the soil survey. So we'd go, they're labeled by numbers. So you might have a 153 or a 219, and you're going, what the heck is those, and why do I care? So this soil survey has lots of good information about what type of vegetation you can grow, whether you can have a pond. I get that question a lot. Heather, I want a pond. I think that's great, but maybe you don't have the right soil type for a pond. So today's step is to show you the new way. You don't need me. You can do it in your home, cruising the internet other than Craigslist, and looking and getting a customized soil profile. Instead of sending this with you at home, 290 pages, it's really great reading. I do recommend it, but maybe you're not interested in all the soils, all in Siskiyou County. So there's 4 steps, and if I go too fast, please let me know, but they're pretty easy. I do need one volunteer to look at their ranch, and if you don't volunteer, I might pick you. So any volunteers?
Scott.
Oh.
I'm in Scott Valley, not Shasta.
We can do. If there's no volunteers.
All right, go ahead.
My brother-in-law. Okay, Scott. Okay, so you guys, oh, Steve, you were good. You guys can see here where I'm typing. This is the Google bar. If you don't know Web Soil Survey, anything, you could just type NRCS soils. This will pop up as one option. So it starts really easy here on this home page. And, wow, sorry, I don't know how to use your, okay, anyway, sorry, having technical difficulty already. We're going to start here. Down here, what I wanted to point out was that there's the 4 basic steps. There's a lot of information on this page. If you have time, if something's not working, it might be that our website's down. So it's maybe not you, because I did do that on Tuesday afternoon. Well, I shouldn't say that. Steve, how do I press enter here onto your, whew.
Got it.
Okay. Do I have to press the tab? Okay. So I just pressed the green button. We started. You'll see 4 tabs, and those are the 4 steps that I'm going to take you through. So the first is finding out where you want to be.
California. Well,
Good, we're there.
like
So
Wyoming.
one thing I want to point out is you can look anywhere nationwide. So let's say you want to move. Get the heck out of California.
Yeah.
I got a ranch here in Virginia that I want to sell you. This could be a great tool for you to check out different areas. And even within our areas, if something maybe fits what you want to do. Maybe you want to go to the Midwest and start growing corn, and you know how many bushels you can expect per acre. or maybe the guy that you're renting it to is ripping you off. So this is just one tool that you guys have access to, you've always had access to, but not in your own home. So if I know I want to check out Bruce's place over here on Shasta River, I could sneak a peek at his place and see really what he's growing. And is he lying to me when he tells me he gets 8 tons per acre? Okay, so here there's a whole bunch of tabs that you can look by address, state and county, the soil survey. Easy for me is just to click on the address. So Scott, what's your address?
125 East Side Road.
125.
Etna.
No, I'm just going to press enter. So we'll see what comes up. That's it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have used Google Earth or anything, but this is a lot like it. So Scott is, I'm going to point my little thing right here, correct?
Yeah, I'm in
Yep.
that pivot.
So here's Horn Lane, here's the pivot, here's Scott's house. So stop by, drinks, 4:30, right?
Yep.
Okay. So a couple things I want to point out is you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can use this hand. One useful tool for me is, let's say I want to build a fence. And I don't want to walk out there with the wheel, it's raining, it's snowing. But I'm thinking about building a fence. You can click on this little measurement tool. Man, Steve, I don't like your thing. And measure across there.
620 feet.
Ooh, you're good.
What is it?
If I can make it 610 feet. Wow, Scott, you're good. Okay, so Scott's going to build 610 feet of fence right there. So that's,
Can you find acreages?
you can. So the first thing is we have to figure out, if you don't know what you're doing, let's say I can't get this line to go away, press escape. Done. First we have to define where we're going to look at. So you see these little boxes here. Scott does not have a rectangular field, and he has an irregular field. So I'm going to press this other one and just start clicking, hopefully. I have to hold it down. Is that... Steve. Sorry. This is rough. This is not like my iPad.
23.
Yeah, you should be able to click wherever you want to stay.
Okay.
That's close enough.
Yeah. So once you're done clicking, let go. So it's going to create, it's just going to look at your piece. This is all we're looking at. This can go up to 10,000 acres. So I'm not sure who's got range ground or doing U.S. Forest Service or something, but maybe you want to look at your whole allotment. This might be a potential thing. So Orion, you asked me about acres. So on this 30 acres, including the house, it states that right here. You can even name this. So I'm going to name this for Scott. Murphy's. It tells you when this photo was taken, 2005. That seems like a long time ago. If you want an updated map, you probably should still call me or get on Google Earth. But if 2005, if you're trying to do your ranch planning, it's probably all still the same. Maybe you just want to print maps off here. Maybe look at something. That's still an option. And then it tells you in 2007 is the last time it was updated. Questions? Pretty easy, right? Seems easy, you guys aren't doing it. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up, maybe. Scott Bay. Sorry. I'm going to use the easy way. Okay, so step one. We have figured out where we're working. So now I want a soils map. NRCS gives you a beautiful soils map. It has lots of colors. And wow, you only have 2 soils. That's pretty good. I figured you'd have like, I don't know, at least 3. So we can see just for Scott's 30 acres that 28 acres are this Settlemyre loam 0 to 2% slopes. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Sounds good, right? 222. That's great. So if you just wanted a soils map, this is where you would stop at step 2. So you can scroll over here and print it out. And then you see this little adding the shopping cart. So let's say you want to keep on going, which we do. I want to know more about those soils. So if you click, if you want to know more about that soil type, you can click on that name. And we're going to pull it up here. So it says it's in the river valleys, floodplains, a lot of everything that's in that soil survey book. So nothing has changed, it's just at your fingertips. I'm going to close this. So you can print that. So we're going to go where the meat is, really, of the soil survey, the other 200 pages. And if you guys have never looked at our soil survey book, which everybody I'm looking around in this room, I think, has at some point. Maybe you just don't know it yet. But, so let's say for this grower seminar, you want to know how much Scott's growing out there. Oops. Steve, I might just need you to run it. I really.
So does that come from our acreage reports that we turn into FSA?
This comes from, where does this information come from? So we get flown, NAPE gets flown, that's the national aerial, every 2 years. But your farm acreage report is not in this because this is just on the internet. Your parcel layer data is public information, but this is really from the work done in 1962 to 73, is how these soil lines came to be.
But they're finding crop productivity on soil type and crop type.
Sorry, one time.
How are they figuring crop productivity, just based on soil type and crop type?
Yes, and based on what was grown at the time.
In 63 to 73.
Well, a lot really hasn't changed, I mean, in our soils, unless you've land leveled or, it's just based on crop and irrigation type. So,
But it wouldn't be his particular ranch, it'd be what a ranch would normally produce on that.
normally produce, yeah. Now, if he's doing more, like when I go out and plan with any of you guys, this is one tool that I use, just to figure out, if you tell me that you're going 4 tons per acre of pasture, and then I look at the soil type and it's only capable of 2, you know, I'm going, what are you doing different? You know,
But
you're
clearly,
fertilizing, you're irrigating.
I mean, if you look at Stan's fields now versus 5 years ago, there's a meaningful difference when you put
Maybe,
600 units of nitrogen.
yeah.
Because he doesn't graze as low anymore.
He's not burning.
Smart man.
Hope it's burning for you.
Do I need to just have to do it like that? Okay, sorry. So for today, we're going to just look at the veg type here. If I can figure it out. Okay. So there's lots of different things in this. It has range production, forestry production, irrigated crops. So today we're talking primarily about irrigated crops. So I'm just going to select this one. Okay. So it says cannot run. Yields of irrigated crops component not necessary. Data not available.
Scott
So-
didn't want him to know.
Scott, what the heck?
I don't know.
So you might run into this, is that there's no data available. So we're going to look something else. We're going to say non-irrigated crops. Let's see if anything pops up there. Nothing.
Blackberries.
Wow. Scott, what's going on there?
Black hole.
Let's see here. There's got to be something. Let's say you want to know what class you are. Your farm classification. Does everybody know if they're prime farmland or not? Everybody assumes they have prime farmland, right? So there's lots of different things that you can look here. So we're going to view your rating. Sorry, Scott.
It's okay.
Maybe. I shouldn't say maybe.
No, not fine.
So I'm going to scroll down. So you'll see all these warning signs. You should read every warning sign that comes up, but I'm not going to do it today.
So his is prime next to the river?
So, not prime farmland is your rating. So, this is just one of the many tools that is in our soil survey at your disposal. Scott's mad at me because he now doesn't have farmland.
No, that's about all right. Maybe it
So,
has some effect on the team.
he could quit. You guys could quit right here if you guys were looking for something. But I do suggest, this is really exploring what's out there. Let's say Scott wanted to build a pond. We could look at that here, but just for time, because you guys are being really patient, we're not. Erosion, let's say we're talking about water quality, what's your erosion factors, those are some different things here. So you can print any of this out, it's customized, so that is the next fourth step. You can go to the shopping cart. So it's adding your soils map, it's adding your prime farmland, all to a little soils map that's only 21 pages long about just your place. So I do recommend just playing around in here. If you guys, it doesn't mean that you still don't need me at some point.
Well, what does that mean when there's no data available on that? Like,
Just depending on, maybe that was grain, and so maybe it wasn't
well,
irrigated.
before we bought it, it was grain for years and years and years, and then it turned into potatoes, and then it turned into fallow for years.
Right, so they're really, why would we have data on irrigated cropland when it was never irrigated during that time frame? So our soil survey does get updated, but it's like every 20 years. So we're just around the corner to get updated. So if things have changed, your soil survey, next time you go in there, it'll probably change. But, so this is a good tool. I do recommend it. If you need a soils map, if you need an aerial map, but it is on the internet if you guys want to play around. The most useful thing I see it for is like leasing ground. Or realtors, I don't know if anybody's a realtor in here, but I get this question a lot. Can you give me a soils map and tell me what these people can grow? And so this is a good place to start. It's just a baseline. It can give you what your hazards or what your limitations might be. Somebody who says, I want to grow avocados, maybe we'd look at their soils and go, sure, you maybe have a chance. I say that because Steve wants to grow avocados so bad.
So if you were looking at another ranch, and you wanted to see the total acreage of productive farmland, and then the total acreage of land that's scrub oaks and
Rangeland.
junipers, that'll pretty much nail it down for
Yeah,
you.
let's say you just want to figure out what the acres are. If you're going to lease it or
Yeah.
something, and they say they have 2,000 acres, and, is it close, or can you pick up the next BLM that's right next to it, and how many acres is that? Carrying capacity, I see that as a huge thing with soil survey, is figuring out what your carrying capacity could be, just based on your soils information. Irrigated versus non-irrigated, there's a huge difference. I think we all know that. But this is just a start, just one tool that you guys really haven't had access to unless you came in the office.
So maybe this would be getting a little bit intrusive, but
It's okay.
would it also give you some information about ground that might be in CRP?
It won't tell you if it's in CRP. It just tells you the soil type. It could tell you the highly erodible in this, or highly erodible, whether it's highly erodible, which is one measurement for CRP, if it's highly erodible.
Will it give you the index number on the erosion index?
It will, so if you go back to this Explorer, I just kind of brushed over that. So it will tell you this erosion. We work in K factors, T factors. If you don't know what these mean, you will see a question mark here that says help. I do have to say this gives a very good, if you don't know what something is, it tells you. This is constantly being updated. I don't think it's at its prime, but I think we're up for an update pretty soon. But, so let's say wind, if you wanted to know wind. It's not windy here, right?
I can guarantee you that.
Some areas of Shasta Valley do have some wind erosion. So really, probably T
Fuel
factor.
tanks blowing over, does that classify as?
Right, your windmill, yeah. So you can look at a lot of different things, and we'll just run a T factor and see what shows up here. So what is T? I just heard that.
Yeah.
What is T? That is your tolerance. So here, what is T? Is an estimate of the maximum average annual rate of soil erosion caused by wind or water without affecting crop production.
So what is that?
The answer is?
So we assume here in the old Soil Conservation Service, 2T is an acceptable level here in Siskiyou County. So we,
3T is not.
3T might be,
Oh.
depending, but we assume T2. It depends what kind of vegetation you might have. So if something's highly erodible like CRP, it might have a value of 3T. So if you have pasture grass, that's probably leaving your crop there, or your soil, by having a major crop. Now, if you want to farm that, maybe that's why it's highly erodible. It's, you know, based on your soil type, it might be highly erodible. Can you annually farm there? That's a good question. So, because we want to keep that 2T factor.
Well, I don't see where it is.
So where's the rating?
Yeah.
There's 5.
5.
5 is your rating.
So you could go up to 5 tons, just for your soil type. You could lose 5 tons
I could lose 5 tons if I farm it.
and still be okay. You'd have. Does that make sense?
Heather, on that T, is 1T the amount of soil that's formed in a year by breakdown of rocks?
No,
T is a nothing, it's just a
it's just a tolerance.
arbitrary.
Yeah. So you guys
It's in the
are
graph.
realming out of my
Your
soils.
soil classification 2.2. Go across description.
Okay. So any other questions?
So what do you get when you click on checkout then?
Check
We've done
out.
all this stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
That's when
so,
you gotta get your credit card, because you put it all in the shopping cart.
no, this is all free. This is all free.
That shopping cart deal scared me, Heather.
It should. Yeah, I'm not really sure why it's called a shopping cart. Just because maybe you're shopping for different things.
Because once you announce it, and
But
get
do
it
you
more
see that
popular
it's highlighted in free?
for now.
For now.
Okay, so you wanted to know what you get, and I won't print it up, but that 21 pages is here. And so if you guys want to look at what that looks like, this is of my brother-in-law's place, because he was real easy. And if I didn't have any volunteers, I was going to use it. So, I can pass this around. So any other questions? It's really just showing you that it's on the internet. It's not new data. It's been around a long time. Okay, great. With that, thank you.
Thank you.